Good morning. As I check in with you this morning, I want to say that there were some exciting things that happened yesterday and last night. I had a very hard time falling asleep and did not get much sleep and feel quite tired this morning. And yet, there's a peace that pervades my life, even though I'd like some concrete answers to some questions that I still have. I'm feeling overall a peacefulness. Now let me just read the title. It's 2012, Changes Are Happening. Really simple. And not really simple is not part of the title, just changes are happening. It's in the air for those that can feel it. Things are happening that will bring the changes we all long for in the deepest part of our being. The flame of freedom burns brightly with the fires of transformation. Indeed, over the past week, since I got the notice from the court that my house, the so-called auction on my house was not allowed to stand without a hearing, and a hearing was granted for May the 18th. And then I received the Advanced Freedom Training DVDs, the third one of which I watched yesterday. There's just been such a release for me and such assurance within my heart that things in my personal life are working out. And I know that things are happening in the Republic. I don't know all the details, but I know the legislature and all of the branches of the reseated Republic are in high gear, ready for the actual changes to be announced, all the funding to be in place, and the ball to be rolling. I was on the legislative call last night till after 11 o'clock, and I finally did shut it off. It was still going on, and the questions and answers. But they're getting everything ready to launch the Republic and take over a de jure government from the de facto government. The legislation is in place, and many other things that aren't on my plate that I'm not yet completely aware of are happening. And there is such a sense that the tide has turned. It's not turning, it has turned. The announcements have not been made yet, so that the public still doesn't know about it. And there are still going to be people that are going to be the naysayers. There's always going to be those, even after the changes are announced and it becomes obvious, there's going to be people that don't like it. They're going to think it could have been done differently or better in a different way. But a lot of this is happening because we have to be the ones that bring it about. It isn't handed to us on a silver platter. We have to work within the structures and within certain parameters or laws, if you will, that we are given to work in human society. It's not an imposition of something from without, something new from without. No, it's changing by drawing upon the best of what has been provided to us throughout our history. Things like constitutions and bills of right and declarations of independence. Things like the Magna Carta. truths that have come down to us through our religions, that are truths, despite all of the BS that was planted alongside of it. Yeah, we were told that the tares were going to be sown in amongst the wheat, and they were going to grow together, the wheat and the tares. And it's not up to humans to do the separation according to what we were taught, at least in the Christian aspect. That was for the angelic realm. And the angelic realm may be more well known in our culture as extraterrestrials. And it's up to them to help separate the wheat from the chaff. There's still talk of arrests being planned, of resignations happening in high places. There's still lots of news and lots of controversy out there. Some of the things that I used to pay close attention to, like, for example, I used to hold David Wilcock in very high esteem. And if he put something out, I was quick to read it. He had something new out now, and because of what he did with Drake and with Tim Turner, I have no desire to read what he has to say. And I have no desire anymore since Drake said that he would have no problem shooting Tim Turner. And then he made the announcement. I saw the headline. I didn't listen to it. That NESARA is a fraud. I mean, I don't know who this guy is, but I don't even care what he has to say anymore. He's lost credibility. David Wilcock has lost credibility in my mind, in my book. So I don't know. I can't tell you the specifics of what is happening. All I know is what I feel, and little nuggets of information with many gaps in that information, many things that I don't have the answers to. I tried to reach one of my main contacts. I was supposed to have a meeting with him yesterday, at least I thought I was, and I was unable to reach him. So I don't know where he is. I'm hoping to connect with him at least on the phone today and then meet with him tomorrow. But there are so many things happening. I got an interesting letter in the mail addressed to the Metaphysical Singles Group at an address that was true of the group back 2000, 2001, sometime back in that period of time. And I called the person who's the head of the Metaphysicians Circle, because I used to be one of the leaders of the Metaphysical Singles Group. And anyway, she asked me to just open the letter. And it was interesting. It was from a prisoner in a Florida prison in northern Florida in the Panhandle. And he had been reading one of the copies of Paradox magazine, one of my old magazines that I stopped publishing in 2001. The last issue, the 60th issue, was March 2001. And it was interesting that it's still out there in the prison being, at least in that prison, I don't know where else, being read by prisoners. And there were some questions that he had. And he was just using a contact information that he knew. And they forwarded it to me, even though I have no forwarding thing for the Metaphysical Singles Group, but somehow they looked up and they connected it with me. Because I used to be, as I said, one of the leaders of that group. It didn't say anything about Paradox magazine on the cover. It was in the body of the letter. But so many interesting things happening. And I feel such a sense, as I said, that in my life, but in the life of humanity, the things that we have wanted, that the restoration of our rights, the restoration of common sense is going on. And yes, there's always going to be the people that call the names, as I said, and and say, well, you should have done it this way, or it should be worded that way, or whatever. Whatever. It's going to happen. It's happening now. And I mean, I can feel the energy, but I don't know the specifics. I know there were lots of demonstrations yesterday on May Day of the Occupy group here in the United States. I didn't look at a lot of the headlines, but I know there were Occupy movements back at Zuccotti Park in New York. There were clashes with the police, and there were people arrested. I heard that, but I didn't read a whole lot of detail, and I know there were things going on the other end of the country, on the West Coast, up in Washington State, and various places, I'm sure. I haven't read all the headlines yet. I've been very busy. I've had a house guest here since Friday last week, and she leaves to go home today. But in any case, I just have the sense, the overall sense that I want to impart to you, that the changes are really happening and they're going to be very good. Not everybody is going to like them, but for the good of mankind, the highest good is going to be accomplished. And I want to give you that assurance, because that's all I can give you this morning. I can't give you a lot of details. I know that some of the new legislation, there were 3 acts that were discussed on the legislation last night. They're going to be on the Republic webpage, and when I get that up, I'll post it on Facebook at least. I don't know, I don't have that link yet, but it was really, really encouraging that even the tone of the people that expressed alternative viewpoints or something like that in the call last night, even those were of a nature that it was not confrontational. There was such a sense of appreciation for the hard work that the legislators, the senators, and the representatives of the restored republic have worked countless hours, thousands of hours, on lining things up, on studying to know how to lay and restore the foundation actually that was already laid. So these are good things. These are really, really good things. And I don't care where you are. We're going to pull together. Somehow, something is going to help us pull together and get on the same page so that we can really co-create the world that we have longed for, a world where everybody wins, a world where injustices are addressed and corrected. Yes, there's going to be some arrests. There might be some upheavals, certainly. But overall, it's going to be good. That's the sense that I have this morning, and it's all I'm going to leave you with. I thank you once again for listening. Keep the faith, my friend, because it's going to be very, very good, and I think we're going to get very positive news in the not very distant future. Namaste.